This is FE Peer Review. The date is the 9th of November, 2022. Dr. Frank Turek is wrong, and a bad detective to boot.
If I'm a detective and atheist Michael Shermer is a detective and we come on a dead body and I say, okay, I'm looking at all the evidence here, I think candidate X did it. And Michael Shermer says, no, candidate X did it, or didn't do it. That's the wrong, he's not the murderer. And I say, okay, who is the murderer then? And he says, well, I just lack a belief that your guy's the murderer. Is he a good detective? No. Shooting down my suspect isn't enough. If he's a good detective, he has to give reasons as to why candidate Y is the murderer, not just to say that your guy is the wrong guy. That's all I'm saying, Scott.
This is Dr. Frank Turek. He has a PhD in apologetics, and he is not a good detective. And this is my response to Dr. Frank Turek. Not a good detective. Nope, Mr. Turek. You need to read more detective novels. The typical scenario is that know-it-all lieutenant jump to conclusion and private eye skeptic McSkeptic face come upon the body, and the cop immediately jumps to a hard conclusion on the basis of the superficial appearance of the evidence. Jump to says, Righty McRightface did it. Then skeptic looks and says, no, Jump to, Righty didn't do it. Look at this piece of evidence. Based on this, the murderer must be left-handed and Righty is right-handed. Jump to responds, yeah, that's true, but then who did it? Skeptic says, I don't know, but we'll recognize him when we see him because he'll be left-handed. Agnostic atheists are in no way under an obligation to support their position of having a lack of belief in a god or gods. They are simply stating they suspend judgment until they have adequate evidence on which to make a judgment. Those Gnostic atheists who claim an active belief in the non-existence of a god or gods, in order to demonstrate the rationality of their position, do need to be able to provide evidence for their position. But they don't even need to do that to express dissatisfaction with the quality and quantity of evidence you may have presented for your theist belief. I'm addressing you, Dr. Turek. They do not need to prove their position in order to point out the shortcoming in yours. As promised, I'm going to make a video response out of this comment. Thanks for your attention. Have a great day. I left this on his video a few weeks back. Now back to my glass of wine, and you all have a wonderful evening. This is FE Peer Review.